All right. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a make.com scenario that will automatically post social media posts for your guys' agencies, or if you just want to post your personal brand or whatever you want to build it for. Obviously, you'll be able to customize it to your needs, but I'm going to show you the layout that I use for my agency. Basically, just makes it super easy where you can set posts on automatically post twice. I do twice a week for me because I don't want it to look like I'm a bot and spamming. Um, but yeah, let's get right into it. First off, what you're gonna do is go to RSS. It's basically a website that you'll go to, and let me pull it up here. It's kind of like an article app. So you'll go on here, explore articles, and go through different websites that you find interesting or that you think relates to what your company is about. So, for example, for mine, I have an AI agency, so a lot of the posts that I want my social media to post about has to do with AI. And I noticed off the bat, and I'll show you guys in a second, is the way that I was using the GPT prompts originally made it to where it was posting more so about the news than my actual agency, which I didn't like. Obviously, you don't want to just be sending people, to your social medias and them reading about another company's innovation or something like that. You want to go in there, show how your platform and your software can impact them, and then obviously have a call to action at the end that will hopefully, make them reach out to you. I chose about 9 feeds. I would say as long as you have more than 3 or 4, you're fine. Just a lot of different feeds that have to do with AI because I want to use it not so much as news, but more so as an influence. So when we go to this prompt here in a minute, what you're going to see is the prompts using this RSS app feed as inspiration. So if we'll go back to the make.com scenario, in this RSS, you're going to get your feed from your bundle. So what you're going to do here is, let's say you want to make a new feed, which is what you guys will do when you make yours. Just openai.com for an example. But you can go around, find whatever sources that you want to find that have to do with your agency or your company. Once you find one that you like, you're going to save it to your feed. After that, you're going to come up here to bundles. Once you have 3+ feeds, come up here, create a bundle. This way, instead of just going feed by feed like over here, you're going to get this bundle URL that's going to allow you or your make.com scenario to pull from all the feeds that are inside your bundle. And then that's where you're going to put this URL so that every time that you run it, let me just show you. So every time that you run it, you're going to get those first few articles. For me, I have it set to 2 just because of the way that I've done it. But if you want to post more frequently or you want more content to choose from, you're more than welcome to set that limit as high as you want. Coming off of that module, you're going to separate into the URL and the title. Pretty easy, just so that later on in the sequence, this tools module just makes it a lot more clean and you have something to reference to the whole time. Then you're going to paste this URL file into a GETA file HTTP request. What this is going to do is go to the URL that you set, and then this text parser is going to parse the data that you get from this module. So basically, you're grabbing the article here, separating it into the URL and the title. It's taking that URL, and then this module is going to look that URL up, and then this text parser is going to get all the text from that website. So basically just bringing the article from RSS inside the make.com scenario. Obviously, this is going to change from your use case to use case. For me, like I said, I do have an AI agency, so I prefer the articles to be more so about AI. So you're going to come in here, basically set it up as a smart assistant. You're going to feed it the prompt, tell it the main, and you're going to ask if the main theme is about AI or not. If you were, more so into crypto or something like that, you can obviously change this prompt however you want. But I obviously only wanted the answer to be yes or no. Is this article about AI or not? And then what you're going to do after that is set up a filter. If it's a yes, it's going to pass through. If it's a no, then obviously we do not want it in the first place, because why are we going to make social media posts about something that doesn't pertain to our company? Next, what you're going to do is create a summary of the article. You don't have to go too in depth with this. I just chose to because originally I was using this for a different use case, and I've kind of modified the prompt more so to fit for what I need for my company. So like I said before, a lot of this is customizable. Obviously, if you want to follow along and do exactly what I'm doing, you're more than welcome to, and it will work for you. Or if you're more advanced and you just want to use this as a general template, that's you're more than welcome to do that as well. So creating the summary in this GPT module, I use GPT-4o just because you could probably get away with Mini for this, but I want 4o. I just prefer it honestly. I don't typically do Mini unless it's a super small task. So in your developer settings, you want to tell it what it is, how it's going to be useful to you, and then just basically describe that it's going to be given an article that's about that has to do with AI, since we already checked that, and it's just going to make a relevant summary for you so that you can break that article down into something a little smaller, so you don't have to reference the full text every time. And then this was kind of what I was saying, where you don't have to do everything that I do. You could get away with that summary and be perfectly fine, but I kind of want to go a little more in depth, so I want to give the article to this ChatGPT module and basically get it to focus on the main content of what's going on in the article, ignore everything else. Yeah, stuff like this. If AI is not used, it's basically like a second safeguard. So if that first article pushes through and it's not about AI, but it somehow gets through, this is going to be like that secondary, I guess, bodyguard in its way. Article extractor, as I'm sure you know before, this HTTP module is grabbing the full website and then parsing it. But this article extractor is going to be given all that text, so you'll have, the footer, the header, everything in there. This is just going to take the body of the paragraph just to make it a little easier. We reference the article in later modules. It doesn't have to surf through all that data. Like I said before, I'm going to say that again because I did take this and kind of modify it. So if you wanted to, you don't have to have this little sequence right here. You could just skip through this to create a record. You could just have that at the end, honestly, and just have this one. But I already had it in here, and I don't mind the extra scenarios being ran, or the extra modules being ran, so I leave it in. What this is going to do, and let me go to my Airtable really quick, is put it into their categories. So we'll take our title, as you can see here. We'll take our base, our table, time added, title, topic, summary, and the body. Obviously, you don't have to keep up with these if you don't want to. You could just keep it in the scenario. You don't have to put it in the Airtable. But I want to go back, for example, if there was a date published and something was posted, and I was curious about what was in it, I can come in here and look at what all was it about, if I liked it or not, why. It helps me tweak prompts in the future. For example, if some social media post got out that I didn't like, I could come in here and see, where it went wrong. It just helps you keep track of things. I put a sleep module just to be safe that this finishes by the time that this can search it. And then what you're going to do here is just search for a record. What you're searching for is records that the Twitter copy, you could do Twitter, you could do Facebook, whatever you want to do, has nothing. So basically showing that all you have here is the title, topic, summary, and body. But when it comes to has it actually made anything for the copywriting yet? No, it has not. So now that you have your search records module here, whenever you run this, all you're going to get is, oh, it's because I don't have any that it's not made for. But obviously you would have a row here that's the copy is not made, and that's what would pull up here. Once that searches, it's going to go right into this Twitter module. So now we're getting into the actual post creation. So for our Twitter module, obviously we want our tweets to be a little smaller and more, I guess, soft-hearted and fun compared to a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post. So just basically, you want to prompt the GPT to tell it who it is, what it's doing. I won't give you the full prompt, but basically you're telling it what it specializes in and how you want it to write the Twitter copy. I will give you a hint, or I guess a tip. When I first started with Twitter, obviously, when you're making posts automated like this, some social media programs have safeguards to where you can't just automate and post, I guess, bullcrap posts all day from AI. So you do have to be careful with prompting your GPTs. You do not want them to just make generic posts. You don't want them to spam hashtags. Um, this is the use case of this approval module here at the end, but you want to make sure that you're posting quality posts and you're prompting it to make sure that it's posting quality posts. Um, so what we're gonna do here now is obviously LinkedIn and Facebook are a little more in depth than Twitter. Twitter's more so for a 2 to 3 sentence punchy, just small tweet, and Facebook and LinkedIn are more so in depth. So I chose to have 4 different writing programs, I guess frameworks here. This is going to take a number 1 through 4, and then we have our 4 different GPT prompts here for our LinkedIn module. And then obviously now that we have the prompts over here, all we do over here is plug it in, which I'll show you. You're basically telling it what it is, and then the text output of how you want to structure the post is going to come from our writing framework module over here. That's only specifically for LinkedIn. Facebook is still independent, just like Twitter was. So it's very similar. You're gonna tell it, who it is, what it's doing, why it's doing it. Basically telling it who you are, what you offer, what you want to try to post about. And you do have to be very careful about these prompts because it is getting, like I was saying before, it is getting that news from the RSS feed. So you do not want it to just grab that news, make a post about it, and then it be nothing to do with your brand. So when you're prompting these GPT modules, you want to make sure to add it in there that who it's for and why it's writing it. You don't want it to just be for something random, and then it comes out with something that Google has done. Who cares about Google? You wanna make social media posts about your agency. And then obviously, like I was saying earlier, how some social medias have safeguards, and you don't want to put out crappy content. You're going to have this approved module here at the end that is basically going to act as, you. You could do this differently, and I did have it before, where it would create the copy, and then you would come in here and you could individually mark this yourself. Me personally, I didn't want to have to manage it. And sometimes, you are going to get some posts that, you probably wouldn't have approved, but as far as taking the time, I have to remember the schedule of going in and checking the box yourself, looking at the copy. I'd rather just have an AI, monitoring it for me. I give it my, I guess, rules and guidelines of what I would like to see on my social medias, and it enforces them. So I basically just tell it it's a brand quality reviewer, um, and yeah, you just give it the criteria you want it to fit. Obviously, this is up to your standards, what you want it to do. But for me, I wasn't too strict with it. I just wanted to make sure that social media posts were being outputted twice a week, and I'm slowly trying to grow my social media, I guess, presence. After that, you're going to update your record on Airtable. Obviously, you have your ID from earlier. You're just going to put in all your copy from earlier. And then from this module, you want to make sure to put this, the output in JSON, and then parse it, so that way you can get these individual results like this. And now that we've gone over all of this first sequence, let's go into the actual, postings and how you're going to automate this to where you can be hands off and just let it run your brands on autopilot. All right, now that we have reviewed how the actual posts are being created, let's go over to them actually being posted. So as you can recall, the last module in that last scenario was an updated records module where we updated all of our copy, brought it in here. So as you can see, this is some of the copy that we've got from Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. So we have our copy here from Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. So now what we want to do is search records. So obviously up to this point, we know that we're scraping the article, creating the copy, approving whether the posts that the GPTs made, were relevant or not. And then we're up here. We are at, so this is where we're at. These two are checked, but they haven't been posted yet. So you're going to come in here, allow all the output fields, and then all we really have to do here is put date published as 0, because that's saying that this article has not, it's not that it hasn't been approved, but it hasn't been posted yet, which is all that we need. We don't want to be repetitive, but we want to make sure that we're going for the content that hasn't been posted yet. So what we're going to get is date published equals 0. So when I run this one just once, the first bundle here, that's what you get. Time posted, make sure you format your date to where it's not wonky and it comes out, the 2020 or 2025, May 23rd. If not, you get a super weird layout, which is fine. It's up to you, but I like to actually be able to read it. And then all you have to do from this point is set up these filters. So you come in here, X approved, so Twitter approved. You're referencing this cell, whether it has been checked or not, which should have got done by your GPT module before. If it's true and the Twitter post is good to go, you're going to go into your Twitter module, place your Twitter copy variable here, save, and then you're going to update your record to where it shows date published. If you wanted to get more in-depth and make sure that each one of your socials got posted every single day or every single, 2 times a week for me, you could do that. For me, I don't really care. So you could have like Twitter published, Facebook published for dates, but it doesn't matter to me. As long as something's get posted on socials, that's fine with me. So sometimes this is only going to get ran, and for instance, Twitter and LinkedIn only got approved. My Facebook prompt for the approval seemed to be a little strict, so I went and changed it the other day, but it hasn't been ran yet. So for this particular day when it gets ran, only Twitter and LinkedIn are going to get posted on. Facebook is not, which for you, if you want to change that, go revise your prompt. For me, I'm perfectly fine with it. So if X is approved, Twitter is going to get posted. If Facebook is approved, Facebook's going to get posted. The copy here, update the table. So no matter what, the date published is getting updated as long as one post was made, and that's all you need to make sure it doesn't get ran again. Like I said before, LinkedIn's here. And yeah, that's really all to it. Obviously, you can customize this as much as you want. If you wanted to go on different social platforms, you don't just have to do Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You could change it to Medium if you want to do more so a blog style. You could do different pages on different social media platforms, whatever you wanted to do. And that previous prompt before, like I said, all the GPT models you can prompt to put out the output that you're aiming for. So make sure that you change all these prompts to be brand specific for you. But it really does help a lot when you don't have to worry about posting on social media, because your brand still has a presence. You don't have to worry about it. It takes time off your day, and you're still, engaging with your audience and showing that you're present without actually having to do anything. So I believe for a small scenario like this that you can set up within 45 minutes or an hour, it's 100% worth it, because once you do that, I think the only thing you really have to pay for here is the RSS, and it's I think $8 a month, $9 a month. So you're basically paying $9 a month for your brand to get completely automated on social media. I see that as a win. And even if you didn't want to use RSS as your feed provider, if you just wanted to tell a GPT module about your brand, you could 100% do that as well. And if you are interested, I could do a video showing how I would format that. But I mean, this is the easiest way that I found, because I wanted my news to be somewhat relevant, but I didn't just want it to post about news. I wanted it to use it as an influence, and then post towards my brand, have a call to action, so that I can try to get my audience to come towards me for services. But that's pretty much it for this. This is a pretty short one. Not much to this, I guess, sequence or scenario. I'll be posting more very soon, probably some more complex ones, some actual automations that have to do with servicing clients and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. These videos are going to be very barely edited, and it's more so just for me to work on my scenarios and output what I do. But hopefully, if you are listening, you learned something and you can automate your social posts, and hopefully grow your brand. So hopefully I can help a little bit. I'll see you guys in another video.